Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Riley, what's up?
Do you want to make a podcast?
Sure. What did you have in mind?
So I was thinking the loot box of podcasts, right? So this is a idea that I just said, and I need to kind of figure out what this means.
Okay, so you want a podcast that has randomized elements each episode, and the podcast could be good, but won't be.
Yes, but also I think the specific thing is that everyone gets a different one. So I think maybe we have one podcast. Like there's one podcast, maybe like 10 different hosts. And each host records at the same time. And also there's different music, there's different topics. And you pay me like on PayPal $5, and I send you a podcast that is a random assortment of these hosts. One of them is a super rare.
What if we did... So we get like 10 hosts, and then they just read the dictionary.
Ooh.
So like I open the dictionary, I read every word in it and the definition for it, right? And then you buy an episode, and that episode is just like a collection of 20 words put together. What if you said loot box? What if we make it a booster pack?
Ooh.
You get 15 words. One of them is a rare word. 3 of them are uncommon words, or people saying it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other 10 are common words. So if you're really lucky, like you could get like fart.
Yeah,
If
but
you're
like
super lucky, Obama is saying fart.
ooh. And so and then also each booster pack comes with an adjective. Adjectives are only added in at the back of packs.
Yes. Yeah, you get 1 adjective per pack. Everything else is a noun.
Verbs right out.
Yeah, verbs, you need to get the special, you can get like special order verbs. Those come in a special bespoke box that we send out. You need to get on the Patreon for that.
Hold on, I've opened up my notepad and I'm writing sorcery, instant, land, creature, and planeswalker, and I'm trying to attach each of them to... We decided lands are adjectives.
Lands are adjectives.
Creatures are nouns.
Creatures are nouns. Gerunds are artifacts. Pronouns are enchantments.
Now, did you say Jiren like the Dragon Ball Super character?
No, gerund, like the figure of speech.
What is that?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Listen, we can't spend this much time getting into how English works. I need you to pitch me another podcast.
So a gerund is a form derived from a verb that functions as a noun. So like running is a gerund.
Okay.
It's the act of doing the thing but used as a noun. That's a gerund. You are nouning running.
That's a planeswalker name. Jared
Absolutely.
the Unholy or some shit.
Speaking about things that are unholy, I've got an idea for a podcast for you.
hit me.
And I will say you're not going to like it when I pitch it. I'm going to...
And not a good start to the pitch, even.
I'm going to use this episode to entice you into doing this podcast, okay?
Okay.
The name of this podcast is Lort Night. This is a Fortnite lore podcast. And I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. How much lore can there be in Fortnite? I'm going to hit you with a sentence right here. This happens before Fortnite, like as a game in the current reality, exists. The storm emerges and consumes 98% of the world's population, turning them into husks. Do you know that 98% of the world is dead in Fortnite?
Then why do we spend so long? What's the reason for the murder in every game?
So I think this is about there being 2 different modes of Fortnite, but I don't know for sure. All I know is that I'm surprisingly good at it.
Andrew, I don't want to poo a bit immediately. I don't want to shut you down right away.
Sure.
But what about a 3D podcast?
What is a 3D podcast?
So I have a suggestion here from my good friend and co-host on Never Believe It, Ray. And Ray says podcast, but it's 3D. The world's second 3D podcast.
So someone's already done it.
We don't know. I don't know if they are making the point that this would be this world's second, or like the name is podcast, but it's 3D, the world's second 3D podcast.
So the two dimensions that already exist for podcasts are sound, obviously, and time.
Is it time, or is opinions a dimension?
That's part of sounds is the thing. So
Because I read a lot of opinions on Twitter. You can have a take and have it not be sound.
I think but that's part of the sound, though. Like, the sound can encompass the opinion.
Okay.
I feel like the two, a podcast can't exist without time, and it can't exist without sound, as they currently exist, right?
Yeah.
So those are the two dimensions that podcasts currently occupy. What's the third dimension? What do we add to a podcast?
I'm going to say it's a Patreon exclusive podcast. We add smell-o-vision. Every month, we send you a scratch and sniff card, and we will tell you when to scratch off the different smells from our podcast.
Ooh. Okay.
A lot of times it just smells like my bedroom, but sometimes I'm eating while recording.
Okay, I could get into that. So like I could just intersperse something from my room. On one hand, you might be nice. You might get this what's this, White Barn? Is that the name of the brand? A White Barn candle that I got sitting in front of me. You might get that smell. But sometimes you might get lighter fluid from the lighter that's next to that candle. And it's again, like, ooh.
We're kind of back at the loot box now.
We are, aren't we?
Now we're at loot pod. Podbox? Podbox, the world's second 3D podcast.
Okay, the first one okay. So the first one, the loot box, is literally 3 dimensions. So this works.
Exactly. The dimension we are adding is not only it's a double entendre. We're adding the third dimension to podcasts, which is smell, and we are adding a third 3-dimensional object that you get mailed every month in Podbox.
I feel like we're losing the podcast and just starting a subscription service.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Can you give me something else?
Sure. So Aquaman started a standoff with Deadpool. He changed Deadpool's logo to Aquapool, which is a fusion of Deadpool and Aquaman. After that, Captain America has arrived to the island to celebrate Independence Day.
Oh, damn it, it's the Fortnite thing again.
This is new Fortnite lore. This is the latest development. Are you sure you don't want to hear about this?
Yes, there is nothing that is more boring to me than when you say the words Deadpool. It is an anti-interest. Deadpool is the anti-interest equation.
But they fuse him with Aquaman. And they call it Aquapool, which I put forward is what every pool is.
I hate this. Scattered brought...
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. How do you feel about... we call this one Lo-Fi Podcast Talks to Relax / Study To.
That's what we already are. Next question.
Shit.
Okay, so are you saying that we intentionally, like, we make our podcast lo-fi? So, like, we, like, take the quality of our audio and we just, like, fucking EQ it super flat? EQing, which I think is a sound word, but as far as I'm concerned is fake. We just make it super flat and tinny sounding?
I think that what we do is... No, if you know what lo-fi hip-hop is, right?
Like I know lo-fi hip-hop beats, yeah.
Yeah, lo-fi hip-hop. We're making that, but for podcasts. So lo-fi hip-hop is where you take a good hip-hop song and then you just like add the same beat under it and then make it sound chill but bad. And then you have a little kid study in a video while you listen to it, right?
So this is lore.
This is us making a podcast that you can study to.
Are we helping them study, or is it just
absolutely not?
Okay.
Absolutely not. We are not we're not educational. We are supplementing an education by just being white noise.
Yeah. We're just in the background, just kind of like talking about like, oh, like Andrew, how was your day? And you just talk about a very mundane work day, and it's just kind of playing in your ears as you're studying for your the big exam.
Yeah, so like in the back, you just like, yeah, today was fine. I had a couple Jira tickets that got reopened, but I was able to look at them.
Oh.
Had an issue.
Jira, that's the figure of speech that's an adjective, right?
You got it. I got another podcast here. It's based off of a sentence that Sam said to me, and I thought, and it got wormed in my head, and I was like, okay, that could be the name of a podcast. It's called Here's Where My Face Goes.
Okay. Now, when you say this, it sounds like this is kind of a it's a pitch that I feel like I could answer quickly. Like, here's where my face goes, and I would point to my face. But are you implying that there's something more sinister about it? Is this an ARG?
No. So you're thinking where your face is. This is a podcast about where your face can go. Mm-hmm. When you were a kid, did you ever stick your head between, like, railings, and then you couldn't get your head out on the stairs? You know what I'm talking about?
I have a video to send you of earlier last year after I bought this new bed frame, and the metal poles at the bottom of it are just big enough that I'm sure I could fit my head through. But also, it's like enough that like I can feel my ears push in as I like start going through it, and I have to back out and go, I'm an adult. I cannot do this.
That's our podcast. It starts with you shoving your face through there. That's where your face goes, and then you just we listen to the noises you make as you try to get your head out, and we rate and review the experience.
So when you originally pitched this, after I realized it's not an anatomical podcast, I thought it was a travel channel podcast kind of thing where we would travel around to different locations and eat food there, and that's where our face would go because our face goes to our food. Which actually kind of falls into a idea that Jeff Stormer at Party of One on Twitter has. Andrew and Riley taste various snack foods, which is a pitch. This is a title and not a pitch. So we kind of have this where, like, this is where our face goes to these snacks, and we just eat a bunch of cosmic brownies.
I could do that.
Oh my God, I have
different locations in the world, and we eat cosmic brownies.
I have cheesy poofs in my cabinet right now. I'm so excited. Oh, I forgot.
That's where your face goes.
That's where my face goes.
Absolutely. Okay. That's where my face goes. Andrew and Riley eat snacks. I could do this I've constantly done this podcast for most of my life.
Yeah. Because you've been eating most of your life.
What do you got for this one? Because I'm trying to watch my diet. What do you got for me?
What else do I have? I have here a podcast from Michael Clamorous on Twitter at Michael Clamorous with a K. A podcast that's like Bar Rescue, except you yell at the creator of a TTRPG and tell them how to fix it. Hashtag the podcast minds. So an interesting thing here is the idea of I get to call up everyone who's on my shit list in the TTRPG industry, and I just get to yell at them for 20 minutes.
So you want to make this vindictive. This isn't constructive criticism. This is destructive criticism.
You know how there's the difference between like Gordon Ramsay's American persona and his English persona? Like, you ever seen how he acts differently on English shows? He's like actually giving good advice and actually helping people and like doesn't really yell that much. And in America, he's always just screaming at people.
I did not know that. I thought there was just one Gordon Ramsay. I didn't know that
he had
different personae.
This isn't like an Andrew WK Steve Mike situation, an Aquaman Deadpool situation.
Yeah.
This is it's just in America, people need you to yell and be mean for them to watch the show, but in England, it's just a very pleasant kind of like, oh, we're gonna help these bars that are having trouble improve and teach them skills to improve themselves. And so the version I'd release here stateside would be me calling up my shit list and just kind of going into them. But everywhere else in the world gets a really nice kind of calm show where the two of us kind of read a game and then talk about it and really go and give art critique.
So this is just an excuse for you to make phone calls.
Yes, but also phone calls that I can like it's okay, maybe it doesn't have legs. Andrew, what do you
No, I'm into it. I like the idea. My experience with Gordon Ramsay shows are that he goes into a place that is down on its luck and probably not doing great and turns it into kind of the generic kind of place that serves salmon.
So your pitch here, extrapolating, is that we take a bunch of indie games and just slowly turn them into D&D.
Basically.
We go, now these two, I know you have this 6-sided dice here and you have this idea of positioning and effect. What if instead you had a 20-sided dice?
Yes.
And when you failed, nothing happened.
Yes.
It sucked.
Absolutely. Yeah. We take every game, we round off the edges and we say, we've made you marketable. Your new game is called Delvers and Demons. And you play it with a 20-sided dice, and you can make up whatever parts that we decide not to put in the rules.
I hate this. Now I'm mad.
Okay, well, if you hate this, then I have an idea. I've been holding back on you. I have an idea for...
If you say a Fortnite word, I swear to fucking God.
Are you telling me you don't want to hear about Sergeant Winter appearing at the top of the iceberg with his slushy soldiers and declaring war?
I knew it! I knew it!
That's not where I was going with this, but
okay.
I want to make the most popular podcast of all time.
Okay, you gave me warning that you had this in the canon, and it sucks to hit the mother load in episode 3 of the podcast Minds, but sometimes that's just how mining is.
So, what's the most popular kind of podcast there is, Riley?
In my what a loaded question you've asked me, because several things have popped into my head. 4 white men sit in a room together and talk about video games.
Okay, aside from
they're friends from high school.
Aside from that, I'm just gonna give it to you. It's true crime podcasts.
Oh yes.
So, what can we mix with true crime podcasts that is also incredibly popular to get as many listeners on it as possible? With this in mind, we need it to be we want to get a famous person like a Conan O'Brien or someone that can come in and reinvent podcasts for the modern era, like happens every 3 months, right?
Yeah. Because podcasts aren't cool and aren't fancy. They are, they're done by babies for worthless purposes, and so we need a famous person in here to really show us how it's done when you podcast.
Exactly. So I'm here to pitch to you epic rap battles of mystery.
Wow.
This is our podcast hosted by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who comes in and tells us about the latest true crime mystery of the week. In each episode, we're going to have him write up a new rap about whatever case we covered that week. Because there is A, no podcast that white suburban people like more than a true crime podcast, and B, no rap that they love more than whatever Lin-Manuel Miranda is doing.
Uh-huh. And so what if we take this a step further?
Yeah.
We take this again, you are right. This is the most successful podcast of all time. We've done it.
Yes.
Fucking crushed it. We are on cloud 9. What if we also, I have a corporate tie-in for us. I know we don't want to sell out, but I have a
we're doing a Lin-Manuel Miranda epic rap battles of mystery podcast. We've sold out. Hit me.
It is also a fucking NCIS. It's or Law and Order kind of thing, where it is pulled from the headlines and it is branded by them. Simply, that's the only addition. Is maybe Ice-T's in here every once in a while because he's in one of those shows, and you get the Law and Order bum bum sound while Lin, does the raps that he does, and that adds into the whole kind of spontaneous nature of true crime. It's whatever crime happened in the past week. It's also a bit of a jam for Lin, who has to learn
So, yeah, he has to keep on top of the newspaper and be like, all right, fuck. All right, someone got stabbed today. I can turn that into a rap.
He got stabbed at a Chili's in the Midwest.
What if we do every other week, we do alternating between current crime and past crime?
Historical crime and past.
So 1 week we'll have whatever the latest Casey Anthony is, and I realize in saying that happened when I was in high school. So yep. I don't know what the hot new crimes are, but I'm sure that Lin is on top of it and he will find it. Lin-Manuel Miranda and Ice-T will co-host this
podcast. I don't know what the hot new crimes are. Andrew, this may be a cut joke. Have you heard about a man called Jeffrey Epstein?
Okay, so you're saying we get... Hold on. Lin-Manuel Miranda and Ice-T? Ice-T. Yep. There was a second where I was like, shit, am I thinking Ice Cube or Ice-T? Lin-Manuel Miranda and Ice-T are going to come in and they're going to work together to write a rap about maybe Jeffrey Epstein, maybe whoever the most recent fancy criminal is. Hold on. Hold on.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, I know. You know, you got a guy who's got himself a nice old plane, and he isn't. And he's got a lot of money. He can make it rain.
Shut the fuck up.
He's taking millionaires and billionaires to islands here.
No.
And I'm going to throw it right here to Ice-T here. And then Ice-T does his rap.
Ice-T, the man who wrote the song Cop Killer.
Yes.
Okay. I need to pivot. I'm crying.
Okay, then what about if we pivot to the Enforcer closing a giant rift in the sky, but not before it starts blasting purple lightning bolts onto a patch of cacti in Paradise Palms. Then the cube is created by a massive strike of lightning and the sky rift disappears.
My good friend Caro.
Are you telling me none of those words means anything to you?
No, they all mean something to me, Andrew, because I'm part of the Fortnite subreddit. I know what's happening in Fortnite. I subscribe to these things and I leave them there and I don't curate that. And so I know what's happening in Fortnite. I just need you to know I don't care. Fortnite is my rival, my nemesis. It is doing what I am doing with Funko Punk, and it does it without the heart, without the soul. It is I am Goku, and it is Gene Freaks.
Who the fuck is Gene Freaks?
That is from Hunter x Hunter. He's a shitty man. I hate him.
Okay. I was thinking that was a DBZ character I'd never heard of.
No, the correct he's Hisoka. Fortnite is Hisoka, and I am Goku. That is still from Hunter x Hunter to Dragon Ball. It makes sense.
Hunter Kai Hunter.
Anybody who's still listening after your Lin-Manuel Miranda Jeffrey Epstein rap is really laughing at that one. Hunter Kai Hunter is very funny.
Thank you.
My good friend Caro writes, Andrew and Riley listen to the soundtrack of musicals that neither of them have heard of and try to reverse engineer the plot / fill in the blanks. At the excursion on Twitter. At the risk of inviting more Lin-Manuel.
No, Hamilton's too easy for that one.
Hamilton's too easy. We're listening to like Dear Evan Hansen, and we try to figure out what happened, what's happening in that musical.
So I'm looking up right now the soundtrack listing or track listing to the soundtrack to Come From Away, which I know is a very popular musical, but I have no idea what it's about.
I also don't know. So let me click this. So, Welcome to the Rock. It's at the Rockefeller Center, right? Like that's what that looks like.
No, I think this is about Alcatraz.
Oh, okay, yes. Absolutely.
They come from away and they get locked in here. 38
38 planes that come to Alcatraz. Damn it, it's Fortnite again. 38
I wasn't going to say it.
squads.
38 planes drop 38. So 38 prisoners are dropped off at Alcatraz.
What if this is like a very sad musical and we are bastardizing it right now?
Hold on, I'm looking.
One of the merch says channel for oh no.
What is this about?
What do you think the worst thing it could possibly be about would be? I'm looking at, if you scroll back, click the Come From Away original cast, and then go click the image of from merch, and you might see there that it says Stranded in Gander on 9/11.
Oh no. Okay.
I think we've already hit our topical moment, and I am going to nix this bit from the podcast.
Let's remove that bit. You want to start this joke over again?
Yeah.
And so pick literally any other musical that isn't going to be about 9/11? Here's the cut content.
My good friend Caro Assertion, Sea Excursion on Twitter, writes, Andrew and Riley listen to the soundtrack of musicals that neither of them have heard of and try to reverse engineer the plot and fill in the blanks. Andrew, I don't really know what happens in Wicked. I'm sure it's not secretly about 9/11 and we're not going to have to cut a bit from the podcast.
Yeah.
But let's jump into the soundtrack for Wicked here. And I see, let's see. The Wizard and I, what is this feeling? So this person has a crush on the wizard.
Here's the thing. Right? I know what Wicked's about is the problem.
Oh, you know what Wicked's about? Okay.
Yeah, it's about the Wizard of Oz.
I didn't know that.
Let me Google musicals that aren't about 9/11.
I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that happened.
I got one for you. Here's a musical I've never heard of. It's called Be More Chill.
Okay. All right, let's see here.
So, Be More Chill soundtrack. We've got Jeremy's theme instrumental. So we've got a character. His name's Jeremy.
Okay, Jeremy. Jeremy has to survive.
More Than Survive is track 2, so we know Jeremy has to survive. I Love Play Rehearsal. So he loved play rehearsal. Jeremy has to survive, goes to a school play rehearsal. Mm-hmm. The 4th track is called the Squip Song. What do you think the Squip is?
I hate to read ahead, but I am seeing the Squip enters, and then I see the Squip lurks. So I think this is a horror musical, right?
Okay.
I think the Squip might be a sort of It Follows monster.
Okay, so the Squip enters. We're at our play rehearsal. The play rehearsal interrupted interrupted by the Squip coming in, and Jeremy has to survive.
Yeah. Jeremy has to survive, and that's how we get to the 2-player game, because Jeremy challenges the Squip to a one-on-one single combat.
It's a one-on-one single combat game. The Squip enters. The Squip enters the arena. But you know what? Jeremy gets cold feet, and he has to be more chill. So he's like, oh, I'm so uptight. I need to learn to chill out if I want to go into the arena and deal with the Squip. We have, do you want to ride? His mom calls and is like, hey, yeah, go ahead.
So his mom calls and is like, hey, I know you don't want to fight the Squip. He killed your father. And so I know, like, do you want to ride to get out of there? And that is when we have Be More Chill Part 2, which is where Jeremy is like, hey, no, I can be chill.
Hell yeah. So Be More Chill 2, he's like, I can be chill. We get a More Than Survive remix. You know what? Jeremy fights the Squip and he wins. He does More Than Survive. He kills the Squip.
And that's when somebody is like, I'd be kind of into that guy. And that's when we introduce the romance.
That dude killed the Squip. I could be into him. The Squip lurks. Lurks just means it lays on the floor dead.
I'm not going through the rest of this fucking music.
Yeah, we could do this. We just go through and we make up. Now I'm going to look up what's Be More Chill actually about.
Just to make sure it's also not secretly.
Just to make sure it's not secretly about 9/11.
Little did you know, the Squip is one of the names. God, I can't fucking believe that. It's probably sad because here's the problem, Andrew, is a lot of musicals are actually secretly super fucking sad.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it's like we did this musical called like Boop to Boop Shoop, and it's like actually secretly that's about like this person's dealing with like the trauma of their family being eaten by a lion or some shit. And so like no matter what, I think we need to retire this idea because it's going to be sad no matter what.
Yeah, eventually we're going to hit on something that we don't want to deal with. So what do you have in mind instead? Actually, it's my turn, isn't it? I got an idea.
Yeah.
This one's going to be kind of similar. Tom the Anime Sicko, that's at Tom Harrison19, writes in, a rewatch podcast, but for a show you've never seen, and you're only allowed to watch the previously on segments.
I like this idea. It's dangerously close to what we're doing with Never Believe It, where we're only watching the filler, but I love this idea of we only get to see that like 45 seconds of previously.
Yeah. So my gut says to do it for Lost, but I've seen Lost. So I'm trying to think of what a good previously on show would probably be. Is there anything that you can think of that's like weird and buck wild, but that neither of us know?
Weird but buck wild. Okay, so this isn't buck wild. I was gonna say Castle, the Nathan Fillion show. What if we do this for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
And we have to figure out what happened in the movie between episodes. Because eventually we're going to get to a point where it's like, okay, it looks like the relationship drama is ramping up between these two characters. Okay, it looks like they're solving crimes. Thor's dead.
And
they're dissecting Thor now. How did that happen?
How do we think that happened? What do we think led to this? Yeah, I like this idea. I think this is a genuinely enjoyable podcast.
Half the cast is gone now. That must be Thanos, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I have one from because I feel like we just haven't hit it yet. Because of the musical incident. I have here a name from Jay, and we have to figure out what this podcast is about. Or it's One Eyes White Dragon, Two Eyes White Dragon, Red Eyes Black Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Say that one more time.
One Eyes White Dragon, Two Eyes White Dragon, Red Eyes Black Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon.
This podcast is an audio drama reimagining of The Ride of Paul Revere.
Oh.
Where instead of one if by land, two if by sea, we're dueling with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and he has to ride around summoning the right creature in order to tell the Revolutionary Army that they need to prepare the right deck for the British forces. Because Kaiba's coming. Kaiba Corp is coming.
The Kaiba are coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I like this idea, but where my mind immediately went with this is again dramatic audio drama, a niche that podcasts really haven't cracked yet. That is exploring what a retelling of Yu-Gi-Oh, but as if it was written by Dr. Seuss.
Oh,
so there's a lot of rhyming. There is a lot of kind of wacky hijinks and who's. And there is also duel monsters.
Okay, so you get like, his name is Yugi. He likes to play duel monsters. He's not a seamstress. He doesn't like to play spool monsters.
Lin, get out of here. Get out of here, Lin.
Get out of here, Lin. I don't know how he keeps breaking into our place.
He wants to be on this show so badly.
You got a COD game and you just want to summon.
I can't. I'm done. Headphones are off. I'm standing up. I'm walking away from my microphone.
The Seto Kaiba Corp forces, they're all a-coming.
I'm coming back. I used that as a moment to turn on my air conditioning.
I got one quick one right here. Janie writes in and says, all you do is take personality quizzes and talk about them.
Oh, I like that one.
So each week we sit down and we say, hey, we go to BuzzFeed and we scroll through and we go, hey, do you want to find out which Heinz which Heinz condiment you are? And then we answer questions like, Riley, what's your birthday?
April 14th, 1993.
Okay.
What's your mother's maiden name?
What's your social security number?
What was your first pet growing up?
Yeah. So we answer all those questions. Would you be susceptible to Russian interference? Yes or no? And then eventually it's like, hey, you're Heinz mayo chip. Good work. That probably is good. Who knows?
I do like this. I think this is a good podcast. I don't think we need to really dig into it. I think we could just be done.
I think we dig into it too. I think we're done.
Hi ho!
Hi ho!